DoggieDiamondsTV.com.
Yeah, what it is, people, it's your boy Doggie Diamonds. You already know DoggieDiamondsTV.com. I'm here with my brother, the Irritated Genie. Genie, what's going on?
Man, I feel good, bro. How about yourself?
Feeling good, feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling alright. I'm not feeling good about some of the things that I'm seeing on the internet. So I'm pretty sure you're not feeling too good about it. You're in good spirit, but it's a lot of confusion going on. Basically, I seen something from the brother Wesley Muhammad, and I was watching the lecture. It was cool till he got to the part where he said your name, and for a second I looked. I was like, did he just say Irritated Genie? Did he just say straight black pride? I didn't understand where it was coming from. Can you give us some backstory of where you think it's coming from?
Yeah, it's a little bit of it's been going back for some time. I realized in the 1990s, we went to an event at a church in DC that was like a African nationalist type of church, but it was a Christian church. And the members told a group I was with at the time that they were having promoting homosexuality, and they were gonna have this event to promote it. And this is about 1999. So we went to the event, and in the event, long story short, we got into a fight and everything like that. Wow. But this Reverend Willie Wilson is his church. He's a good friend of Minister Farrakhan. They're like very, very close friends. So we saw that, and we got in a fight in the church over this whole thing that they were promoting and everything. And we saw a video then. It was in 1990, and this video was promoting homosexuality. And again, this is 1999. Maxine Waters, Cornel West, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and a bunch of other leaders in our community. And that was the first time I had a signal that there was something really serious going on in the background. Because I was like, in 1999, we weren't talking about homosexuality. And I'm like, when did the black leaders get together and make an agreement that it was okay to promote homosexuality to black people, to even do a video like this? So I saw that, but I didn't know. And so we started doing the lectures and talking about it, and I wrote the book, War on the Horizon, Black Resistance to the White Sex Assault. And then I started noticing from 99 to about 2004, between that time, that the nation was taking a different stance. But it wasn't the body politic, it wasn't the brothers, and it wasn't the sisters. It was from the top, because I then went to an event at the mosque, number 4, Kenilworth Avenue in DC, where I saw Willie Wilson speaking in the mosque. And I thought it was weird that he was coming, but I still had respect for the brother. I think this might have been before the fight. But
Willie
anyway.
Wilson, explain to them who that is.
Willie Wilson is the leader of the church in Washington, D.C., Union Temple Baptist Church in Southeast, that's been promoting the homosexual agenda since the late 1990s. So since he was going to be there, and we used to follow him and support him, and I think whenever he went there, I might have still been supporting him at the time. I wanted to hear what he had to say. And he got up on the mic, and in the mosque, he started promoting homosexuality. He was like, you brothers in the nation, y'all need to stop being so hard on the homosexuals, blah, blah, blah. And I knew some of the brothers in the nation. And they, they kind of knew some of our feelings. All of us were against homosexuality. So I talked to him on the way out, and I was like, why is he coming in here in the mosque promoting homosexuality? And they couldn't answer it. They was like, well, beloved, this is not us. Anyway, so I started seeing this relationship there. I didn't think it was, I didn't understand how deep it was. Later, as we get down into the later 90s, I started noticing that everything that we put out against homosexuality, the nation was kind of positioning themselves to say something counter without directly doing it. So it wasn't until more recent that it all started to become very apparent with me that this is very serious, and I think it's above the level of the Nation of Islam. The reason I say that is because a few years ago we saw Minister Farrakhan come out just in a random internet interview and promote Tyler Perry as the ideal image of a black woman. He called him a spiritual giant.
All right. He said Tyler Perry is the ideal black woman?
Okay. I don't want to, that's not the quote, because the brothers like to
You're paraphrasing a bit.
I'm paraphrasing, but let me tell you the exact quote. Tyler Perry is a spiritual giant.
Okay.
And he said to our people, I hope that he continues to have much more a success, and that people continue to support it.
Even though the Tyler Perry that we know as black people is Medea, a cross-dresser.
And that's what he was talking about. He was saying, I don't see it as cross-dressing or transvestitism, which it is, but I see it as him giving honor to the black women. Even though, as my brother Tazariak made a great point, that everything about even the Medea character as a female, she's loud, obnoxious, disrespectful, and not the type of black woman that any brother would want to be a partnership for the rest of his life.
Right. Yep.
So we saw that. I made some criticisms of that, and what I began to see, and I felt it, but you don't say this thing out in public. But I felt like, wow, they're actually trying to go against our agenda to stop homosexuality and child sexual abuse in the black community. Because that's one of the major things that we focus on.
Yes.
This was before Straight Black Pride Movement. This was just one on the horizon. Then he came back out and did a lecture where he insinuated that Brother Malcolm X and Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad were homosexuals. He didn't exactly say that, but he was saying stuff like they didn't know how to be men, and the reason that they were so aggressive and abrasive and like that because they were hiding something. And so he was alluding to the fact they were homosexuals. And then if you watch the video, it's out there on YouTube for anybody that wants to watch it. You see this little small hat, white so-called Jew, sitting in a crowd just staring at him. And you see these whites just staring at him. And I'm like, now, we use Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. We use the picture of Amen, but we use that as a God, basically saying that this is the image that we should be seeing. We should see a black image of the Creator instead of a white one.
Facts.
So we use that image, and we always say praise Nat Turner, glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. If you keep the image of a strong, dark-skinned, aggressive black man like that that's fighting white supremacy out there, it gives the idea of what manhood is, and people will follow that. So I felt like that was an actual attack on the fact that we're trying to keep an image that he wasn't very happy with.
Okay.
He did the lecture where he called Dr. Khalid ugly, getting all of that kind of stuff.
He called Dr. Khalid ugly.
Well, he talked about when people are doing ugly things. He described it that way. He described it in such a way where he's saying, that's the way I took it.
Okay.
So the bottom line is he's trying to destroy black manhood. So when I saw that, I said, okay, this is not a personal thing. This is something that is being engineered. Yeah. Because no black man wants to kill the identification or the image of strong black manhood.
Right.
Somebody else is engineering this.
Okay.
But when it became 100% crystal clear to me, like, yeah, well, but then one more thing I got to say, because it's very important. When he came out and defended Eddie Long in the sexual abuse of those boys, when he said, he said, and it's out there again, I didn't put this out there, it was out in 2010, it was uploaded by a brother named Ahmed something or another, you can go watch it for yourself. When he said, even if everything that those boys said was 100% true, it still wouldn't be something for a criminal court because those boys were of age. So the thing would be, then that would be saying that even if you're saying that you don't think it was pedophilia, that homosexuality is acceptable behavior. And then to wonder, why would you be defending a man who's been accused by multiple young brothers of molesting them, who never even said that he didn't do it, and went on stage and said he's made mistakes? So what are you pushing when you support Eddie Long? It sounds to me like you're defending pedophilia in the black community. Now after that occurred, I'm watching this whole thing, and of course I'm not going out saying anything about it, but we have the Straight Black Pride movement, which is totally contrary to all of that. And War on the Horizon, Irritated Genie, this is our whole platform. Recently, when we went out there and we worked together and joined arms with the ISUPK brothers, the Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, and we said this, our ideologies are totally different. More different than our ideologies are different than the Nation of Islam. But their hearts and their spirits and their warrior spirit is in the right place. ISUPK has been totally vocal for years that people should not be molesting people in our community, and that we should not be promoting homosexual behavior, that black men need to be with black women to build strong, healthy black families.
Right.
That sounds like they got the same platform as Straight Black Pride movement, but they also in the street with it.
Facts.
So when the Africa Bambaataa thing came up, any differences we had with any black groups went out the door. And I just want to make this because it's very important. This is passionate for me because since I was 15 and I found out that sexual abuse really existed in the black community, I've been fighting to try to get the energy to fight this war. I want people to stop molesting children, and I want the people that are molesting them to feel severe pain so that it stops. That's a mission of mine. I took that mission as a teenager. So now for the first time in over 20 years that we have the kind of momentum where we actually got different groups who have different ideologies who put that stuff aside and said we're going to fight against, with the Africa Bambaataa situation, people that are molesting our sons. We're not going to tolerate it. We're going to bring an end to it.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Now for the first time, there is no more disagreements within the black nationalists, the Pan-African, the Nation of Islam. Any of these groups should not have anything to debate because we got something we should all agree on. It wasn't 8 days after we came together across those lines, men. I mean, there was sisters out there too, but I want to talk about the black men. The black men who said, we failed you. We've been letting people rape our children. We now know it's real. We now have a target for it, and we want to make an example that this has to stop. And we put all our differences aside.
And we stood tall.
We stood strong and all spoke behind each other. Nobody cutting each other off. Nobody stabbing each other with our differences. We was focused on the mission of saving black children. All of a sudden, from Mosque Mariam, some random guy, what's his name?
Wesley Muhammad.
Yeah, Wesley Muhammad. Goes up there trying to be the irritated genie. It's only one irritated genie. What is he doing? He's not even my son. He's not a friend. You know what I'm saying? But he gets up there and he, I'm making a little bit jest of it. But it was a real problem for me because I didn't really care much about it. So he got a right to his opinion. What I did have a problem with is the straight black pride movement is focused on stopping pedophilia. Straight black pride movement has never said anything about the Nation of Islam.
Never.
Irritated Genie has,
yes.
But not that movement. Why would you attack that movement? You're attacking that movement because, and I'm not blaming Wesley or any of the soldiers in the nation, but this is coming from the top. Somebody else, I'm very convinced, this is my opinion, the small hats, the white so-called Jews, are now in control of the decisions that they make. And what they saw in the 1990s or 1980s, when you saw brothers lined up going down the street, I was from D.C. I'm from Southeast D.C. Kenilworth Avenue in Northeast was one of the worst drug spots you could see. I never forget seeing the dope busters go out there and crack. They took a dude that pulled out a shotgun. They ran towards him, took his shotgun and stomped him out. They had to put a stretcher out there and put him on a stretcher. They couldn't even move him. That became part of who I am. Seeing that and say, one day I want to be a man like that. For the first time since the 80s and 90s, you see black men, Brother Tazariak and ISUPK. You see the straight black pride movement, War on the Horizon, all the Doggie Diamonds, House of Consciousness, everybody out there, red pill and blue pill, the men are out there saying we're going to stop this. And guess what happens? 8 days after the men come together for a real issue that everybody should care about.
That affects our community that we think
our babies.
Universally the whole black community. And I just want to say something. I've had women hit me up and tell me thank you. Because I've been molested before. And thank you for speaking up. And now I have the courage to face the person that molested me. I was scared because I didn't believe that anybody would believe me. And I didn't think it was anybody like me. But because of what y'all did at that press conference, now I'm facing the person that molested me. And I feel like, a big weight has been lifted off me because I've been hiding this secret for years. So I was proud of us because we all don't agree on a lot of stuff, but that one thing we all universally agree that this is wrong. So when I saw the attack on you, I'm confused. So when you saw that happen, when you seen 8 days later he does a lecture and we thought it was gonna be I thought it was going to be pro what we did. I thought it was going to be speaking on what took place with us out there. Because once you say the conscious community, we all get thrown in this box, even though some of us say we're not a part of that box, but we get thrown in there because I'm not conscious.
Tazariak gonna still put us in that box.
Listen, I still wear diamonds. I know my shade. I'm not conscious if that's the case. I'm Doggie Diamond, so it is what it is. But I am educated, and if conscious means woke, then I'm awake, but I'm not a part of a so-called community. I thought it was going to be pro what we were doing. We put our boots on the concrete. We went out there. And a lot of people don't know the press conference wasn't months in the making. That was probably like 5 days. When we decided to do the press conference, Cesaria didn't know until a few days, you got to show up. He pulled up. Brother Sankofa. It was me, you, Red Pill, and Blue Pill, and King Simon. We say, let's do a press conference next Sunday. So I just want the people to know that wasn't rehearsed. That was all passion. So some of us spoke passionately out there, and we might have offended some people, and we rectified in-house things that we did wrong. But the passion that we had for the people that's been harming black children, whether it be black men, black women, white women, we all universally agree on that. So when I saw the Dr. Wesley thing, I thought he was going to be riding with us. And then when he attacked you, I was like, what? Why?
That's right.
for me, and again, I can only see it from where I'm sitting, I've seen an intentional pacing of whenever we do something, they do something opposite. I'll give you one more.
Okay.
Now again, I've never said it in public really like this, but I'm just, right now, it's time to put it all out there.
Okay.
We announced early March last year that we were going to launch our Straight Black Pride movement, and we were going to do it in New York. A month later in April, the Nation of Islam all of a sudden having the 20th commemoration anniversary of the Million Man March. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, if you're going to do a 20th commemoration, you start at least a year in advance. So I seen the writing on the wall. So what I did was when I got invited in August to, and I put it up on the internet for everybody to see, I got invited to the UAM. I knew it was coming because I could see it. And what I did is, sister and brother of the Nation of Islam were there, and they were talking and saying, could you big up this upcoming march? And everybody can go see it for yourself. I knew what they were going to do there, and I knew that they didn't know. So I said, I would like to see the Nation of Islam take a definitive position on homosexuality. King Simon tried to argue with me and said they had a thing. I said, no, they don't. The sister and brother, we don't agree with it. I said, well, y'all need to say that. And I'm waiting to hear that because I knew what they were going to do at the march. And Brother Tad will tell you, I wasn't going to the march. You'll tell him.
I could, well, honestly, it's my fault that Genie and Tad was there. I convinced them to go because we missed the first one. Me and Tad missed the first one. And around that time, we was running around Brooklyn just beating the shit out of people for no reason. You know what I'm saying? We was beating these crackers up, like literally. You know what I'm saying? We was robbing them, beating them up. And I felt like we missed a part of, we missed a part of history. So we were going for the historical value because we knew we was going to be amongst our people. It had nothing to do, I'm not a man worshiper. So I didn't go there to see Farrakhan per se. I went there because I knew it was going to be a lawn full of my people. Of all walks of life, all from all over. Tad didn't want to go. You 10 minutes away, so it's almost walking distance for you. But we decided to go. Genie opened his home for us, took us to get some banging West African food. I'm never gonna forget that food.
Northwest, that's right.
And we went out there, and we had a, believe it or not, we had a disastrous time due to the Nation of Islam harassment. We could, you know, so it's been, I believe, a witch hunt against the Irritated Genie. They, you know, I heard some of the brothers, they didn't, the people, because, all right, let me give y'all a quick scenario. I did a blog on this, but the quick scenario was we went out there, Dr. Umar was there. Dr. Umar and Genie have been on different sides of the spectrum as far as their
the penalty for
homosexuality.
We agree.
Dr. Umar is not pro-homosexual.
Zero.
So to get them together via Tad to shake hands, and you go on Doggie Diamonds TV, and they both spoke, stood a united front again. This is what we about: nation building, standing together on premises. We did that, and we got a crowd. We gathered a crowd of maybe like 200 people. And when they seen the crowd form around us, just so happened the minister was speaking at the same time. It wasn't pre-planned. You cannot plan these things. It's no such thing as a coincidence. It's something, a higher power that's bringing all this together like this. The minister happened to be speaking at the same time. And when they saw that, they just, no, y'all can't be. I'm like, how you going to tell black men, women, and children we can't stand and gather and speak? That's what we're here for.
Against homosexuality.
Against homosexuality, because that was the topic at the time. Now, they did all they could to...
Well, they broke it up.
Yeah, they broke it up. They broke it up.
And they actually told, I didn't mean to cut you off, but they actually told one of the brothers, because he said, why are you doing this? He pulled the brother aside. When the brother came back to him, he said, Brother Genie, this is about you.
Yeah.
He said, the guy told me we're supposed to be coming out here together, homosexuals, heterosexuals, all of us supposed to be working together and putting these differences aside, and they don't want you here. And that's what, whatever the conversation he had with the brother in the nation, they were actually waiting to see if we came out. And when we did, they had instructions from what the brother told me to make sure that they broke us up.
I overheard that, but you know, at the end of the day, it was still successful what we was out there telling the people.
Can I jump in? I want to say one thing that was really important about that. Again, I knew that they were promoted there, and they did. You can go watch it for yourself again. But what I didn't know, and which was very insidious, you know, we never talk about this. We got to start being real. I'm telling everybody, this African nationalists, we got to stop being quiet about it. We take this abuse from the Nation of Islam under the leadership of Minister Louis Farrakhan, and it's unfair. We weren't invited to the first Million Man March from the platform. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, who would have represented all of us, wasn't invited. All of the other marches, the Nationalists weren't invited. But this one, more specifically, not only was Dr. Umar Johnson not invited to speak up there, he's everywhere on the planet right now, so there's no justification for that.
Malik Zulu Shabazz wasn't invited.
Malik Zulu Shabazz wasn't allowed to speak. But what was really, really insidious and heinous is that the person that was invited to wear an African garb was an open homosexual named Rainy Cheeks, who pours a libation with the African garb. So now he's representing, he looks to the world like he represents me and you.
Yeah.
Which is the worst insult you can do. So how is it you can't have Umar Johnson, who's speaking around the world? You can't have Malik Zulu Shabazz. You can't have even Irritated Genie, which I probably would, no, I would have turned it down, but I'm just saying. You don't have anybody of us. You don't have Professor Smalls or you don't have Professor Jeffries. You have none of us represented, yet we bring millions of people or help bring the people there for you. And then the insult on top of injury is that when you put somebody up there that looks like us to do a libation, they give love to the LGBT openly. He said, I prayed something to the LGBT as if that was the intended focus. So what I'm saying, then Minister Farrakhan goes on a rant that all of us that are against homosexuality are degenerates. And we live in America, we might be. But at any rate, we're not homosexuals. We're not promoting the sexual abuse of children. We're not defending Eddie Long. So even if we're not perfect, we still have the right to speak out against a cancer that's destroying our community.
I want to ask you something, and I'm going to make a statement real quick. For people who believe in religion or have a belief, whether it be the Bible or the Quran, where in your Bible, where in your Quran does it condone homosexuality? That's just all I want to know. And that's for everybody who has any faith, whatever your faith might be. Where does it condone that at?
Can I turn it up a little harder?
Turn it up.
I'm going to turn it up. Now listen, I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I'm just asking if you're a true believer. If you are a Christian brother or sister, I'm not asking you to believe in the God you say you believe in or his book. But if you do, your book says if a man lays with a man, he shall be put to death. Now I'm not saying you believe in the God you say you believe in. And I'm not saying you believe in the book that you say you believe in. But you answer me this. Even if you can't do what your God has told you he commanded, how can you justify fighting against people who are against the behavior? We're not out here killing homosexuals, which your book says we should. But we're not necessarily, I'm not a Christian, so you can't hold me accountable for that. That's what your God and your book told you were supposed to do. Right. But if you're not going to do it, how can anybody in Islam, how can a Muslim justify putting together an assault on a group of black men and women who go out and say nobody can rape our children anymore? It doesn't make sense unless somebody's paying you money, or unless you got some pedophiles in the house you're trying to defend, or a combination of both. So I don't know what, I'm not in there deciding why they're doing what they're doing. But anytime you use the most honorable Elijah Muhammad's platform, and a lot of the brothers and sisters in the African national community don't like me because I like Elijah Muhammad. I like Elijah Muhammad, I love him. But I'm going to tell you this.
You know my connection with him, right?
No.
I was born the day he died.
Wow.
The exact day. February 25th, 1975. The day he died, I was born on that day.
Has meaning.
So that's so I always had a spiritual connection with him. And another thing is that if you really go back to his teachings, he stood firm on how he felt about white people. He stood firm on everything. So I want to ask you, after you saw what Wesley had to say, if you had to look directly in his camera and speak to him and respond to him about some of the things that you was a nigger, you was all types of stuff. He kind of insinuated that you might be homosexual yourself. Yeah. What do you want to say to him?
To be perfectly honest, I'm going to just say it real. Wesley is kind of relatively irrelevant to me. He does what he's told. This is what I would say to the Nation of Islam. And I'm saying this to everybody in the Nation of Islam, from the top to the bottom. We are now currently engaged in the efforts to clean our community of pedophilia and child sexual abuse. So, as much as we have our disagreements on different things, this is not the time for you to be attacking us, and we don't really have as much time to directly attack you in response to us being attacked either. My simple thing is this. If you are not being paid, and if your leadership is not being paid to promote the homosexual agenda and this pedophile agenda, and if you are not trying to hide pedophilia in your own ranks, at this particular time, let's conclude this chapter in whatever disagreement and back and forth we have. Get out of our way. This is my battlefield. I've been working for 20-something years. I don't care who gets in, you get run over. Get off my battlefield. Y'all got everything that y'all been doing for the last 80 years. Stick to your thing. When it comes to pedophilia and saving these children and fighting this homosexual agenda, that's my battlefield. You don't belong here. You've gotten it wrong. I'm not saying you can't appreciate the work we do. We love you. Stay off my battlefield. We don't have any conflict. We don't want any conflict. Continue as you were. We'll go out here and clean these streets up. You don't even have to support us in that, and we won't have any conflict whatsoever. However, if we see that you're not willing to do that, what that means to me and those that believe that the Irritated Genie can see what's coming and what's going on, it means that you're being paid by these white so-called Jews. They're the ones orchestrating you to create this war at this time, and you are now in the pocket of our enemies, which makes you the minions of our direct white enemies. And we would hate for that to be the legacy of a Nation of Islam organization that everybody in this room at some point in time in their life has benefited from. To the brothers and sisters on the ground, we love you. Keep doing your work. Keep representing the standard of decency in our community, but get out of our way.
And I want the people to know, you know, we love the Nation of Islam. They produce some of our greatest warriors and heroes. You know, I think people think I think people believe that Farrakhan is above questioning. You know, I think when somebody does something that you don't understand, you ask a question. And I think they get offended when you ask somebody a question. But if somebody is 83 years old and they've been around and they might have seen and done certain things, you asking, well, what is that all about? They should be able to explain to you what they mean by it, why they're doing that, without attacking you.
I would say this, from my perspective, I don't have a problem with somebody being above reproach. I know that it's not great for a nation, but for an army and a military group, you don't want nobody questioning the people at the top. What I'm going to say is this. At this point, to avoid conflict, the Nation of Islam could do whatever it wants as long as it ain't on my battlefield. And I'm not saying this, I'm the only person. I'm just saying I personally take responsibility for every rape that happens in the black community to a black child, because I feel like it's my job to make it stop. And so I'm going to do that, or you're going to kill me before I do that, because nothing's going to stop me from doing it. So since you are not being responsible at this time in fighting this war, all I'm saying is you can continue to follow your leadership and go whatever direction they want, as long as you don't get on our battlefield with this homosexuality and start promoting this filth and make it more difficult for us to save our community. Follow your leadership. Don't allow anybody to question them. I have no problem with that. But when you get on this battlefield, you are now a pedophile and a homosexual or a promosexual, and you become a direct enemy to those of us that's trying to clean up our community.
One last thing. You've been fighting this battle for a while. Since I met you, that was like your whole premise. You got a lot of criticism for you got called homophobic, anti-gay. He must have got touched when he was little. I don't know why he goes so hard on the homos. Now, everything that you've been telling us for the past, because I just got, you know, put on to your platform within the last 2 or 3 years, shit has come to fruition. And black children are really being raped and molested right in our community. How could I say this without sounding crazy? Is it a sigh of relief to see that it's really happening? So you could say, see, I told y'all, this is what I've been trying to tell y'all? Or does it hurt you that people didn't wake up years ago and we might have been a little further ahead in the fight?
No, I don't look at it like I look at it the way you said the first time. You got to understand, when you see something before your people see it, it's a lonely world.
Yeah. So
in order to try to get the energy to get ISUPK to join with a group of other brothers and sisters, get out there with a Sarnetta and in order to make that happen, I've been fighting, like I say, 20 years. So to get, and sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I just look out there. I saw R. Kelly urinate on a girl and get away with it. I saw Eddie Long get away with it. I'm seeing this stuff and it's tanking my spirit, but I can't stop. To finally get out there that day, on that Saturday, and see you, to see Captain Tazariak and ISUPK, to see all of the straight black press, to see all of these people doing this, I can't even describe the feeling. I can't explain it to you, but for me, that's why, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've stayed away from disagreements with the Nation of Islam because of so much respect. But for me, this might be the one chance that we got, that our community is listening, where we got a bad guy, a poster child for sexual abuse, and we can crack the code of this. There's nothing short of death that's gonna stop me. It's nothing negotiable. Like, I have 0% negotiation. If you get on that battlefield and you're on the wrong side, I'm coming with everything. You got to get out of my way, because there are children that's going to get saved, and it'll be over. It's going to happen, and you're not going to stop it. So it's a wonderful feeling, and that's why I'm so upset about this attack, because it's not attacking us over ideology. They want to stop us from saving children, and that's bitter to me, that someone could pay you, in my opinion, to stop men from saving children from being raped. That's the kind of wickedness I haven't seen directly. And it's ugly, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to go forward.
Yeah, and in closing, I want to say I kind of took offense, because I was one of the organizers of the press conference. My platform that you're looking at, Doggie Diamonds TV and Forbes DVD, is one of the only platforms to touch the whole Africa Bambaataa situation, no pun intended, and put it out there, because no other hip-hop sites would touch it, and no pun intended, and put it out there. So this is a fight that we all fighting. We definitely welcome the Nation of Islam to join the fight. Where you at with that? If they say, you know what, Genie, you're right.
I'll say it like this. For the soldiers on the ground, they can, no matter what they being told, inside of them, they love me because they know I'm passionate about this, and they passionate too. If some soldiers come out, I'm saying no, they're not welcome. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason they're not welcome is too dangerous now. Now, I don't know if you're a good guy or if you somebody's getting instructions, and I don't fight like that. Like, I don't take those chances. Nah, y'all go ahead and keep doing what y'all doing. If you want to fight that fight, fight it on your own platform. Stay against that topic, and we won't give you any hindrance. But don't come around me with it now, because I can't trust them anymore.
All right, let me do one more thing before we close. What about how they're trying to attack homosexuality from a spiritual standpoint, that they can be healed, and if you come to the minister, you could get healed, and if you get the Scientology clear thing, I guess you could wipe the homosexuality thoughts out your head.
Zeno can put the magic finger on you and pull it out your head. So
okay.
Yeah, so this is what I say. I think it's great. You know what? Everybody that's a homosexual, go to the Nation of Islam. They're opening their doors for you, and they say that you're welcome there, and they can help you and heal you and all that kind of stuff. We don't have a problem with that. That way they won't come to the Straight Black Pride movement, because what we're saying is, if you're out of that, or you want to get out of that, we can provide you direction to get help. But we're trying to take the few of us that are still healthy, that want to prevent this and save it. So now the homosexuals that want some consciousness have a place they can go. The Nation of Islam welcomes them.
Okay, so that's what it is. This is Doggie Diamonds. Tell them who you are again.
Call me the Irritated Genie in Southeast. You can check us out at WarnerHorizon.com. See some of the DVDs. We have some of them up there for free on YouTube. Predators in Our Midst.
It's on
Doggie Diamonds.
Yeah.
It's on Doggie Diamonds TV. Please watch that. If you've been sexually abused, if you know people who've been sexually abused, or you want to understand this issue and a crisis, watch it for free to understand what the issue is. Also, effeminization of the black male. Put that in on YouTube. You gotta have it.
All right, that's what it is. We out of here. Peace. Hey, thank you for watching. Don't leave without subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Peace.